Okay, it's here. Now I'm not supposed to get this until Christmas, but I figured this might help other people that are trying to find a gift, want to know some about the reviews on this, so that's why I'm posting the video. Here it is, nice big box. Um, Box only weighs like 4 pounds though. Pick it up, you're gonna think that it's empty. I already cut it open here. Oh, what's this? What's this? See how they packaged it. They were definitely thorough with the packaging. I don't think that's getting damaged during shipping. What do you think? I think they put enough of that protection in there. Now for the gun itself. Information you can have, where it was ordered from. I actually ordered this off Amazon, which was processed and shipped through this company. More information you can see. Here it is, the Beuchat Arka Competition Speargun, 75 centimeter. It was $91.95. Shipping was free with it. It wasn't Prime eligible, but it was free shipping, so I'm all for that. Down here you can see that it was done to the Amazon Merchant Fulfillment Network, and it got here in actually just a couple days. Now for the part that everybody wants to see. So here it is. This is what a 75 centimeter gun looks like. It's not exactly short. It's 75 millimeters, I believe, was barrel length from here up to here. So the gun itself is actually longer than 75 centimeters. Okay, out of the package now. See how nice and clean it looks. Now, some of the reasons that I chose to do the Beuchat Arka Competition is because, one, it's an inexpensive spear gun that has a lot of features that more expensive spear guns have. Shaft is a stainless steel shaft. It's got, I guess they call it the Tahitian tip with a single flapper. That should do fine what I'm using it for. The bands of some other models like the Beuchat Espadon, it only comes with 13 millimeter bands. This one comes with 16 millimeter bands, and also the bands thread in directly in line with the shaft, and it has a location you can put another set of band. So right away it gives you the upgradability to add a second set of bands onto the system so you can upgrade the power. The shaft that it comes with, if you look back here, there's first location and second location. So again, you're set for a second band right off the bat, which is, for me, a good thing. The main barrel is 25 millimeter. That's the outside diameter of it. And if you look around, there's a lot of them that are 28 millimeter in the aluminum and also 25 millimeter. Muzzle is replaceable. You got a pin. It should be plugged so all this creates flotation. But plastic, aluminum, plastic, which is a slight rail guide there. 25 millimeter tube is, they actually sell, Omar sells one, and I forget what other brand sells them, but they sell a rail that will go on top of a 25 millimeter tube that provides a rail guide along the whole length of the tube. Now the only thing you need to watch for is how high it's going to hold it off of this rail. Make sure it's going to line up with your whole trigger mechanism. But anyway, the Arka Competition, you've got your trigger. It is just a basic plastic trigger, but The mechanism inside here is supposed to be stainless, and it has the mechanical release for the line, which is a big plus off some of the other ones. A lot of the other ones only had a little clip here that pinches your line and holds it. That was definitely a plus for me. That's one of the things I was looking for. The grip, white, supposed to be grippy. We'll see how it is when it gets wet. There's your safety. Obviously, it's marked. Get your slide. It's already got a little rope attached to it here. Now, one thing this gun does not have that I do want to add is going to be shock cord. Just a section of shock that you put here, so that if you do hit the end of it, it gives that little bounce to it and doesn't put so much stress on this cord. This cord, I believe, was nylon. Not sure how long it's going to last, but I'll definitely be using it until it doesn't last anymore. Now, of all the different ways that your bands connect to your spear itself, here's this one. It actually pivots, which I didn't realize that pivots, but hey, that's kind of cool. It's got this little cutout so it sits right down in the groove. And the angle that this thing's set at is set so that when the bands are connected to the spear or the shaft, it will be directly in line. So the theory is when you shoot, the shaft will be getting pulled forward by the bands, and the bands will be moving at a straight forward line in line with the shaft because of where it attaches. So in theory, it should give you a nice straight shot. Now the trigger itself, see, pushes aside a little bit. It's not exactly solid, but all this trigger is set up to do is move backwards to release this clip in here. So it's not really held in place by too much. That does feel a little bit cheap, but I pulled on the shaft quite a bit to see if the trigger mechanism would release, and I couldn't get it to release. So I definitely feel safe that that's going to hold it in place, even though this feels a little bit flimsy. Safety, up top, off, on, back off. Once the bungee is on, I'm sure the release right here will be a lot easier to wrap on there, because right now there's no give in this line, so you got to kind of pull it over and loop it over. It does hold the line nice. They definitely did a good job measuring everything out, so it sits nice. But for a $91 spear gun, just to get started in shooting spear guns, I'd definitely say this should do the trick. Again, if these 16mm bands don't do the trick and I want more power, I can always add another band. That's it. Just buy another band, and I've got my first upgrade. One thing I did not bring up is on the Arka Competition is it's got a closed muzzle. So instead of having to fight with wrapping your line over your shaft, especially just starting out in spearfishing, it's nice to have a closed muzzle so it's not drifting all over the place or falling all over the place. Again, this is my first one, so I haven't had that issue, but I'd rather have as little issues as possible when I start out to make it the most enjoyable. See if I can get zoom in on that point. It's got a decent point to it. That definitely should penetrate some fish. Should have enough power to penetrate. Can't wait to try it.